Hey guys, just got off of work. Going to go pick up my friend
and make a video. So I hope that you guys enjoy.
Alright, I made it here. So the plan now is to go grab some food and then come back and shoot a fire video. The package is secured.
I've gotten the food. So you gotta hit that. I always hit that ginger first.
So you gonna tell them
Those are like
what
clear
we
your
got right
palate.
here? First off, we got sushi. You know,
Yeah.
Some people don't like sushi at all. We got the Publix kind. It's $5 roll Wednesdays. I got the vegetable.
I got the Hawaiian.
Can't forget the bev. Hey, tamarind apple juice. That's different. You guys don't got a Publix nearby, support them. They got pretty good stuff. Sub sandwiches, sushi, chicken, all that. Some coconut cakes. I'm gonna try that too.
I got the Paradise Punch Lemonade. So we were just gonna do a short discussion with this video. Something that I've been working on a lot personally is just my own relationship with God, and I feel like it is a driving force behind your life. Like when you have a relationship with God, it becomes not just your life and a relationship with God. It's like the relationship with God becomes your life, you know? So I just wanted to talk a little bit. How has your relationship with God been impacting your life lately?
I'll say first off, I started going back to church. Haven't really been a heavy church person at all, but I started going back this year actually in January. Excuse me, a lot of flies in this garage. But how's God been impacting my life lately? I'll say first off, the reason I came back to church mainly consistently was because of energy. I would say before January the 1st, when I started coming back, I was really in a down space, I would say, like,
Yeah.
not being over dramatic at all, but I would say things happened,
Yeah.
not going into detail, but like different kind of breakups, financial situations going on. I was feeling kind of dark, man, so, and it kind of made me kind of like feel just, I wanted to kind of just partake in bad things too, like either, drinking or just hanging with bad people. So yeah, I gotta pump the brakes. I gotta put a hold on that. So I started coming to church. I was like, yeah, I kind of need a better headspace. I felt like the Bible. My parents was always, religious, grandma, dad. So I kind of had that established as a kid. So I was like, yeah, I gotta go back to church, man, and just get a better spiritual, be in a better spiritual headspace.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's pretty similar to like my story when I left for a while and I just saw the world and I saw what comes from the world. I lived in the world and I did my own thing, and even the people that are successful, and they're worldly people, like you see all these, these celebrities like that are on drugs, and people like millionaires getting into all these scandals and stuff because they're not really truly happy. And I saw what godliness does and like what it is, a relationship with God means like a purpose-filled life. And I saw like the modeling of the world, and I have 4 kids, and I just be like early on, I just really wanted to be a good dad, and I didn't see that modeled in the world. I mean, I'm not saying there's not good dads like that are in the world or of the world, but I just didn't find any. But I look to the church and the Bible, and I see these godly relationships, and it just made me want something more.
It's pretty deep in general. I feel like in general, like how you said, you didn't find much like that's like godly dads online or on any platforms at all. So that's pretty kind of good that you kind of want to like kind of be the one pretty much to be that person, you know, so other people can kind of look at. I think it's very hard to like, you know, be like a righteous person with all the music and influences, stuff on TV and movies. So I would say it's very challenging. I would say like being godly, like regardless in general. So that's pretty deep that you want to kind of like, you know, be a godly influencer.
Because you see like the world, you know, and I mean the partying and like that kind of lifestyle. It looks nice, like in like a short 60-second video. It looks nice when you get the highlights of the night, you know, but they don't send you, you know, you see online, they don't show you the videos and pictures at the club
blackout
when they're
drunk,
getting,
whatever,
when they're throwing
fights.
up and the cops are called, or the next morning where, you know, people might have made bad decisions, or, you know,
I mean, I've never woken up like somewhere where I didn't know that I went to sleep at, but I've heard some stories, and I mean, like, it's real, you know, and that's like what society glorifies as fun and fulfillment.
And I think before we even got the food, you told me in the car about like the narrow path and the path, you know, like most people how's it go again? I think it's the narrow path and like the wide path. The wide path people take the most, but the narrow path only a few take or whatever in general.
Yeah.
Who was it? Beat us just flew by me. But everybody walks that same path, man. They want to be cool. They not want to do drugs, but they hang around a lot of bad folks, and then they get influenced to do bad drugs. So a lot of things come with it, you know, walking with the wide path. So being narrow, people might think you're uncool.
Well, I used to always think, like, growing up, you know, you have, like, everybody's trying to influence you, like, whether they're intentionally doing it or not, you know, like, whether it be the older guy at work, you know, or someone else. I've had so many circumstances where people were, like, trying to influence me in a negative way just because, you know, like, the older guy at work being like, hey, young buck, you know, slow down, you know, like, then you're gonna get more work with, like, you're supposed to work harder to be better. I was working at this one job, and this chick told me, like, I was trying to just go above and beyond because that's what, like, the training said, you know. I was trying to memorize the store as well and help people out when they came in. And she told me to act my pay grade. And I was like, well, that's why you are still, like, working every week, you know? I mean, it's just, like, those people have that mentality, though. Just, like, do what it takes to get by, you know?
Go with the motions.
And just be comfortable and don't push the status quo.
One thing, I didn't expect these cakes to be so big. Like, yeah, Lee. But, there's a lot of people who try to act the same and try to fit this mold in society, whatever. Not even trying to go too deep with it, but like how we say, a lot of stuff on TV, you see in movies and music, the things they're saying pretty much too, is being pushed out, not being very political with it, but, Satan has a way of, I would say, like, what's the word, tempting us, just by the things we watch and view and listen to. Our kids also, like the things you see in the Sesame Street cartoons. I mean, you already know. I'm not even going to say whatever, but different things being pushed, man, whatever, and stuff like that. You know, to our kids, whatever, and stuff too.
And honestly, as a parent, like as a Christian, trying to live a life that's pleasing to God, it can be concerning and come to a point where I can feel like, okay, then, you know, who can I trust? You know, everything. It can create a sense of paranoia or like conspiracy, but really, you know, Jesus himself said, like, you shouldn't worry about tomorrow. You know, he said, like, the sparrows of the air don't worry about where their next meal comes from. And, like, if God provides for the sparrows and the birds of the air, then why would he not provide for his children that he loves, you know, that are much greater than the sparrows? So I feel like it's good to be, like, mindful of things that you want to steer away from or towards. But it can come to a point, because, like, when I first just started really looking around